Alright, we are up and running. So, testing Ocean, or excuse me, Buster Ocean. A little quick tidbit about it. The developer has it as an island hopping action roguelite where enemies come back stronger after killing you, fight with a massive anchor, pile on hats and accessories to gain weird powers, and hunt down bounties to prove Buster is the strongest. So, first thing I like about this is the sound is not turned up to 100%. You already have it at a decent threshold, where other games that I tend to playtest, everything's automatically turned up to 100. So right as you open it up, it's blasting in your ears, even if you have your headphones turned down, which I keep my headphones at about 60%. So, in my opinion, this is a perfect starting place. Most other games, they might have a quick intro to where you have to go through and do stuff before you can get into the options and turn stuff down. So that's something I really appreciate seeing right off the bat. Next thing, it's super nice as you're playtesting this just to try and figure out more stuff about how people are doing. You have the analytics right up front, you're forthright about it, instead of if I was messing around in settings and then obviously you got your privacy tab here, like, oh, you're collecting analytics on that, alright, I want to turn that off. So it's super nice that you have that right out in front there. Resolution, window mode's fine. Display, high timer's fine. Again, this is about the perfect volume for just opening up the game, so I love that. Controls, WSD. So aim your mouse. Attack 1, attack 2, special, roll, sprint, interact. You have controller support right off the bat. That's super nice to see for people who prefer playing on controllers rather than it's an early version of your game. So it's nice to see that you have controller support baked right into it right now, whereas others I have seen, they mainly run with mouse and keyboard, and then later on they bring in the controller support. So this is really nice, not nice to see coming into this. Feedback, quit, play. One thing that I would like to see, because I did a quick run through, is maybe somewhere in options that you would put where the save file is. It took me a minute to find it, but it's not that big of a deal. But in order to go back and really go through from start to finish for you, having a little kind of like your analytics note here, where you can find the game save, so someone could go straight back through it if they would want to delete the progress and start new. That would be nice. Otherwise, get going. Alright, so one thing that it's more of in this part of the video, obviously you have it where you have F to hit next, where since I'm on mouse and keyboard, I instinctively go to click on it, but that function is not available right now. So I'd like to see that you can also click on this dialogue button to go through the text. instead of just having it as F. So just to reiterate, you can click F, or you can take your mouse cursor and have it hovered over this and click on it to proceed through this. Otherwise, this is Buster. Buster's my name, Buster by nature. So you like to fight. You look like a little pirate, so I would expect that. Yeah, really like to fight. Alright, good thing this world is full of monsters. So we got a quick... So we have a quick intro if somebody would actually look at this to see what some of the monsters are that we are going to be fighting. That's nice and subtle detail to have. Good thing the world full of monsters. So that's what I'm going to do. Set sail and become stronger. So the one thing that is kind of lackluster at this point is you're doing your dialogue here, but this background just being straight black is kind of lackluster in my opinion. If an idea of going through this as maybe doing it as a random timing to where this back screen could change, or as you click through these dialogue either after every one or every two, the background could change with it, just so it's not this black background. Like, I understand you're focusing on your character that you're going to be playing here and his text that he's telling us, but this is just a little bit lackluster. As I've said, you might have future intentions of changing this, and it's not just ready yet now. But that would be a nice little tidbit that I would like to see in this stage of going through this quick intro. Me. There's my anchor. There's my raft. And my map. I'm out here. Alright, so we're headed out. Alright, your intro. So, that is not... It could be completely worse, but you already have the sound effects turned down. Let's turn it down a little bit more. That did not... Okay, so it is not sound effects that the cannon. Of course, it wouldn't be... Let's turn this down even more. Resume. Alright, that's something weird. So as I'm getting closer here, it sounds like the cannon firing gets quieter as I get closer, and as I'm farther away... Yeah, so it's maybe a little bit of a bug, or if it's just how it's running right now. But when I'm back here, it sounds like the cannon fire is very loud compared to when I come up here, and it gets a little bit quieter. So obviously this is WASD, so that's self-explanatory. When I first went through to do this tutorial, this part was kind of confusing, as in what you wanted to do. Like, obviously you're showing your spacebar to press it. So if I sit here and just press my spacebar, excuse me, let's go back just a minute. So I see you have like your little this is where you want the player to be, and then like, hey, press spacebar. This is a little bit deceiving. It took me a minute to find out, because if I'm just sitting here and pressing spacebar, nothing happens. Whereas if I'm moving and do it, then I see that it wants me to, once I get here, press the space to dash through. Maybe a quick little box of you describing what you're doing here, because as I said when I first came up, I stood here because I realized like, hey, this is where I'm supposed to stand, and then this is next to it, so spacebar, and nothing was happening. And it wasn't until I started to try and really figure it out that I noticed that in order to dash, you have to be moving. Alright. So kind of same thing through with this one. A little box like press shift to run. I went through and looked at the control key binds beforehand when I first went through the tutorial, so I knew what to expect for keys to be using. For people that play these types of game often enough with the keybinds, it's understandable in what to do. But say you have maybe a younger person that doesn't play much, and this could trip them up, to whereas just like the spacebar, and same thing here, having a little box telling the player what you want them to do. This is really nice here too. So let's go through. And you just miss it. Alright, so that is running perfectly. Let's try this again. Alright, so you have to run through in order to do it. So that's working just fine. Alright, of course your attack, self-explanatory. There we go. So that was a how to put it. So when you're going through the tutorial, I would expect that every hit that, okay, so it's telling me to click the left mouse button. Of course, you swing, and you want me to hit this 3 times, which that's what I initially thought, but I had to keep hitting it until each of these lit up, which took more than 1 hit. So maybe a little quick little dialogue box, like, because you're obviously showing that the enemies will take more than 1 hit to kill, which is representing by not just hitting it once, three times to go through. I had to hit it multiple times in order to light these up. So the idea is there of what you're trying to convey to the player, but it's a little bit deceiving here, because as I said, I expected just to hit this 3 times and then I would be able to go through, but it took more than 3 hits to be able to pass this little section here. Alright, so same thing with this one. Let's just give it a 1. So a little box saying like you'll do your little spin attack here, and then when you release your spin attack, you'll throw your anchor. A little box to just tell the player like that's what's happened, that's what you expect. The one thing I don't like about this move is the anchor doesn't come back automatically, or if it's on like a 1 second delay, which is another thing. I didn't figure that out until later on, that you had to press this. I was kind of just clicking buttons, just going through this nonchalantly, and I really didn't understand when going through this the first time that you had to click in order to get it to come back. So, again, a little box kind of describing what's going to happen here, what happens when your anchor goes out, and how to get it back would be a nice thing to have. But that's a super quick tutorial which adding in just a little bit more to make it a little bit more clear of what it's expected and how things are going to play out would be a nice touch to have. The one thing that I can say that I don't like is the footsteps down. Like, I get it that it's like every footstep is being it's accurately displayed, but it is a little bit annoying, especially if you're moving around a lot. So if you could turn down the frequency, maybe, to whereas it's instead of with every footsteps, it's every 2 footsteps. But otherwise, something that is just minor, in my opinion, there. Alright. Got a boss fight right off the bat. Oh. And it crashed. Okay. One second. This PC. Roaming. Where's Godot? There it is. Logs. Alright, so your log function is working. Alright, so that's good to see. That is the second time it crashed on me. Obviously with this type of game, it's not super resource heavy, and my PC is well equipped to be able to handle this. There's nothing to really lower. So I'm not quite sure what is causing that crash there. Oh, I died. Alright, so that's another thing. So I died within the fight after the tutorial, which it's not a big deal since I played through this once and kind of got the feel for it. But being able to have a save point, like obviously the game crashes and you lose that whole run, you know, right there wasn't that big of a deal. I just came off of the tutorial. But if you can make it so it has a save point, if that happens, to whereas you load back in and you can go back to that point where it happened, would be a nice thing. Otherwise, our little island. So, obviously, as the little description that you said, to whereas where's that? So, enemies come back stronger after killing you, which it will show here. Which this is the progression that this game has. Let's get through this dialogue. Alright, that's all. Alright, of course, my latest attempt. Which this is nice to see too. A little overview of the run you had for if you failed or if you complete it, but I haven't completed one yet. So, pincer is upgraded, sounds stronger. away. Alright, so the one thing I don't like, you obviously had dialogue to spend this, but there is nothing that says, oh, I go up to this. Alright, how do I spend it now? Press F, nothing happens. Press E, nothing happens. Q, nothing happened there. Nothing really happened there. I'm guessing this has to do with your progress through the run. So I know I died after a couple islands when I first tried this out, just to get a quick idea. So, but having a little dialogue box here of like what this does, because this is the first time you'd be coming on to your island. So like little dialogue box here say, hey, this spinning this does XYZ thing. Same thing for this one. I know last time I didn't even go up to spend this. I went to this one first because this was the closest and it gave me some coins here. And then I went over to the wheel here because it said to spin it and nothing happened. So maybe that's something that just hasn't been implemented yet, to whereas you have to go to this one and then you go to this one for things to work. Whereas in last time, I just went straight to this one and then nothing happened with this one. Alright, our little island. So we've got some sharks, got an expansion with a blob, things to buy to make us better, and of course our ship upgrades, which is nice. So I know after my first run that it shows here after you equip it. One thing that would be nice to see is if, since there's so much space here, but underneath these it would show like, hey, what you can put into here. So like obviously right now you click on this and then you click it and it goes into it. But depending on how heavy the upgrades go for the raft, or if you can be putting multiple things of the same item, that it shows like what you're able to equip and what is currently equipped. And instead of clicking on this and then clicking in here to equip it, that the things that you would be able to put into these slots are shown underneath them in a small square, and you just click on that to equip it. Could be a nice addition instead of having to click here and then click the box that shows up and then it equips. If you ever add the function of being able to unequip and equip something else, the opposite effect could be your solution. Whereas if you can click on something you had equipped up here and it takes it out and puts it underneath it, and you click on the other item you would want to put in and it goes into it. Other than that, your little board here, latest information. So level 1 pincher, Mr. Two Eyes, which I haven't came across him yet. Alright, so let's see if I can get a decent run going. Alright, so is he stuck or can he not go onto the platform? So here's another good thing just to look at. So obviously I came up here and he went down to me. But so like right now he's completely cheesable. And if he can't come down to being on this platform and I fight him here and go around him or whatnot, This is something that would probably need to be addressed as an exploit, because I can cheese him here and never be hit. Let's see. Can you come down here? No, he cannot. Oh. So that crashed it again. Alright. So maybe it's something with the platform that crashes this. So one thing that maybe to combat that for cheesing it is you have to step onto the island in order for him to show up, and then you fight him. And maybe the dock either goes away completely, just vanishes, so you can't come back on it and cheese him, since he was pretty much right in the middle there and not able to come onto the dock. Alright, do we get the same one again? No, we do not. Got the coin. Ooh. Wow. Alright, mirror weapon. Weapon has a mirror version. Alright, nice. That's actually a useful upgrade. Alright, so the board's similar to Slade Spire. It's a tried and true method. So I don't like that you can't see what's coming, but there might be something for that later on. Alright, let's see if I can crash it again. Ooh. I gotta remember to aim. So one thing to kind of cheesing these sandcastles is you can stand out of their little view, because they go horizontal and vertically firing. So maybe one thing to change, especially when you have 3 here, is that some of them are set to horizontal and vertical, and then others are set to diagonal, and they kind of switch between the directions there, kind of to make it a little less cheesable. The only problem with that is if later on there's a very large amount of them, it could become an issue. So it's not something super big that it's a problem, but it's possibly something to look at and think about. Alright, another sandcastle. So another thing there is not letting them get stuck on the sandcastles. So if you could somehow code that they, what's the word for it? That enemies, avoid immovable objects, or they're somehow able to go around them, would be something else. This chest, I didn't see it give me nothing. Alright, pincer again. No. Alright, well that sucks. Alright, well, I got some coins. Let's see if I can... No, I can't. Alright, that sucks then. I had a good upgrade there. Alright, well... Try this one more time and not have it failing. Alright, so I still keep my upgrades. Wow. Poison weapon. Melee poison damage. Nice. It has the little effect. So not suit. Oh. So one thing I'm noticing here is the poison effect on the top one is active, but on the bottom one it is not. I'm not sure if that's because it's only on my main anchor and the mirrored version doesn't get it. But if both of the anchors do get it, I'd like to see that little poison effect coming off of both of them since they're supposedly mirrored. Get out of his way there. Oh. So what gave off those poison clouds? Was that because of my own anchor there? So, it does appear that it's my anchors that are giving off the poison clouds. So, the description kind of read that it was like the anchor gave poison damage. So, it does give poison damage. So, one thing there is, since it's the effect of my anchor on the monster, I'm guessing. Because obviously when I didn't have the upgrade, that wasn't doing it. So after I kill an enemy with my poison anchor and the cloud appears, that I'd like to see that it doesn't do damage to myself since it's my effect. So it's something that can be played around, obviously because you have the throwing of it, but if you would keep it the way it is now, then in the description of the poison effect, it would need to say that the clouds can damage yourself. So that guy got buffed. So the other thing that I'd like to see here is hovering your, I guess your flares here is what you're calling them, that it would give you the description of it as well. Let's continue. Fire element weapon. Find it now. Got the little bomber. I got the cannon. Alright, so that has a 1. Let's come up to this first. Give us some of your stamina if you know what we mean. Do not know what you mean. Let's look at the raft first. Alright, so you can buy the bomber for 0. Alright. If it's nothing, outfit. So I'm a cannon. Okay, empty slot, okay. Increase your speed, but also tastes good. Serve, you can keep this down, no poison. Oh. That's big then.
Taste.
You can only buy one of those per go. Alright, so we got the Emperor of Salt and Iron. Alright. Let's go again. I didn't keep the effect. Get away from this before it shoots. What'd I get? So, fire element weapon. So I assume, like the poison, it's gonna leave a fire cloud. It does, but it's far smaller. So again there, on the weapon thing, I forgot to call it back, which is annoying. Alright, beat that. Let's go. Oh, I didn't look to see if my cannonballs refreshed. They do not. Alright, we're up against Pincer again. Alright, so there's definitely something with Pincer that is crashing the game. I don't have nothing here. So here's one thing that I kind of don't realize yet how it affects. So the extra stamina, like right now there's nothing in the game that shows that I'm affected by stamina. So is this something that needs to be added in, or is it... so if stamina comes into effect, is that... I don't have a stamina bar when running. Actually, it does show my stamina up there. Alright, never mind on that then. What I get this time? Mirrored weapons. Ember of sand and iron. Alright. No. I can't say that it's pincer. Maybe it's something with the boss, just being a boss in general. Alright. Well, since I'm having issues, let's stop there. And go through them. Alright, just turn that down so it's not completely annoying my ears. So I am at 4220, we'll say. Alright, so for going over the review of the game. Alright, so what do we got? So we got gameplay, graphics, audio, controls, recommendations, overall impressions. Alright, so gameplay. This is gonna have to be a 3 for the simple fact that it's periodically crashing on me. So honestly, right now it would be, I would say, a 4.5. Just for the fact that the bit that I have played, I've seen at least the basic upgrades, the upgrades to your weapon that kind of give you better progression. And of course, I assume if you beat the whole level that you keep everything. So gameplay, mechanics, they're all there. Controls, so when you're doing your right mouse click for the spin and throw, I would like to see that the anchor is set to come back to you after a certain period of time if it doesn't get clicked to have for you calling it back yourself. Overall playability, it's very interesting to see that each time you die that the people get stronger, but in the case like I'm having here, it might not be too much of an issue, but if someone's playing this and they're constantly dying, I'm not quite sure how the enemies getting stronger really works, because I haven't played through to really experience that as much, but I could see it being an issue, to whereas if somebody dies too much that they get gated because they don't have enough upgrades, or they don't they're just not able to progress after a certain point because of it. So it's something that I would like you to have a good consideration for, and how that mechanic is thoroughly affecting your game, because it could be a big issue in the later playthroughs. As I said, that could completely block somebody to be able to progress. Um, Obviously, because I'm not there, I'm not sure if you have a catch-up mechanic built in, or whatnot. But I would highly recommend to have that looked at, and have a good amount of consideration there. Otherwise, gameplay 3 stars. Graphics super simple. It doesn't need to have really outstanding graphics for it to be appealing. Like what it is now, I do find it appealing. So graphics, I would give you a 5 stars. Audio, right off the bat, 5 stars. Um, there's your background music, which is great. You already have it set down to 50 on everything, so it's not completely blasting in your ears when you first do it. You got sound effects for when the enemies are hit, when they're attacking, so that's nice. You don't have voice acting right now. Um, it would be a nice addition if you got some friends, or someone that could do maybe the shot characters or the loudspeaker that's on your island. That would be really nice. Your tutorial, I really don't see a need for it, because you just want to read through it. Whereas if you got voice acting, you either have to wait for them to stop talking, or you have a button to skip through it. So the tutorial, I wouldn't really see voice acting as a needed part, but if like the island had some to it, that would be a nice addition. Controls, super simple. There's not much here. Your menu is laid out nicely. The one thing I would like to see for the control section is anything that can be interacted with. So like spinning this, going up and getting the coins out of here. When it comes to your shop guys, of course you have it as you press F to interact. So if I'm sitting here, I would like to see a little pop-up blob with the F key inside of it, saying that like, oh, I'm right here, I can interact with this person. But if I was like right here, I wouldn't be able to interact with them. Controls, five stars for that. Recommend this game. So I'd recommend it to anybody who enjoys this genre. Uh, if uh, if this turns out to be a game on itch, and it is a pay what you want or a free game, then I would recommend this to just about everybody. So it has the aspects of a roguelite, the map progression of Slay the Spire. Then, of course, from what I can see here, you have kind of like an island building or unlocking. So that's super nice. So if it would be free or pay what you want, kind of like on itch, I would recommend it to everybody. If you're going to put this on Steam, depending on your price point, I could recommend it to everybody. But if it's kind of more of a higher, so I see this game being at like, I would say like $5 to $8 is kind of about the price point that I would recommend this to everybody. 10 plus, I would kind of more recommend it to people that like the roguelike, or kind of like the Slay the Spire esque progression of it, and then of course you got your upgrades and your island unlocking. But otherwise than that, I'm gonna end it here. I did like enjoy this, minus the crashes, but that's to be expected here. Otherwise, it was enjoyable.